Hey, thanks for being here today on the Growth and Scaling podcast. This is Todd Westra, and I am so excited for today's interview. This interview seriously blew my mind. I love the inspiration I get from every interview that I do, but this one kind of blew me away. We're talking about a man who literally came to this country as an 18-year-old from West Africa, and with nothing. Literally living out of a car that he earned for $500, living out of his car, showering in a Motel 6, delivering papers, working at a restaurant, and gets introduced to somebody that changed his life. This story is so inspiring. I'm going to let you listen to the rest of it from here. But today's interview with Douglas Eze is amazing. I absolutely love his journey through growing and scaling his business, the journey of growing and scaling his own personal life as he's doing so, and the number of lives he's been able to affect, the number of transactions, the number of things that he's been able to produce with his team is inspirational. I cannot wait for you to listen to this episode. I know it's going to inspire you. I don't care what kind of business you're in. The mentality, the perseverance, the creativity in this story is going to change the way you look at your growth and scaling journey, and I know it's going to help you. Don't hesitate to share this with people who need a little inspo in their growth and scaling journey, because this is going to give it to you. So thanks for being here today, and enjoy this episode with Douglas Eze. Welcome to the Growth and Scaling podcast. This is your host, Todd Westra, and I am so glad you're here today because we are going to interview an amazing founder or executive who is going to share with us their decisions that they made that exploded their growth. So if you need some inspiration, you want to hear how other businesses are doing it, this is a place to be, and we are glad you're here. Enjoy this episode. Hey, welcome to the Growth and Scaling podcast. Today we have got an awesome guest, and I'm going to let him give the intro because he has done something that most people don't do, and that is he's stuck with the same business for more than 25 years. And I think this person's amazing. He is an example of growth and scaling. I want to introduce you today to Douglas. Douglas, who are you and what do you do?
Hey, my name is Douglas Eze, and I'm in the financial services industry. So I own a financial service firm. I've been in the business for over 25 years, and we help our clients find money in places that they might be throwing money away unknowingly because they don't know they're doing it, and unnecessarily we could help them fix it. Because one thing we found is when it comes to planning for your financial future, you cannot do it if you're losing money on knowing the unnecessary, the way you pay your mortgage, qualified plans, taxes, major capital purchase, even planning for your children's college. We found that so many families are losing millions and millions of dollars every year unknowingly. So that's what we do.
All right. I got you. I can pick up on this because I'm familiar with your industry.
Okay,
so
cool.
let's jump in. All right, so Doug, tell us about this. So where are you finding this money that people are throwing away? I mean, I know people. I know you have something to do with insurance. I know you have something to do with kind of wealth preservation. How does this work, and who are your perfect clients?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. When I got started in the industry, I wanted to find something that's different because every time I talk to a family or a person, I realized they don't have any money to put away. They want to save for their future, but they're maxed out because of the way the system is set up for that to happen. Because the government want to use your money. The banks want to use your money. The media want to use your money. So the media, the banks, and the government target the American people to keep sending them their money by feeding them with information that allows folks to just spend. So we have to
Yeah.
find a different way of helping people to spend, but still use other people's money. So one way that we find that folks are throwing money away is the way they pay their mortgage. Because when you look at the banking system, the banks are very slick.
Interesting.
Banks make money loaning money out. So in order for them to continue to make money, they got to keep getting deposits into the bank so they could loan it out. For every dollar you earn, 34% of that dollar goes to interest, credit card interest, mortgage interest, student loan interest, financing the car interest. And then out of your dollar, 40% of your dollar goes to taxes. A lot of times when we get our income, we look at just the income tax, but then we don't look at the water tax, the utility tax, the food tax, the travel tax. So by the time you look at those two industries, the government and the banks, that's 74% of your hard-earned dollar that's gone.
I was just gonna say that's over 70% of your income is gone.
It's gone. So it's so crazy how this the system is structured, and then you're left with 26% to live off. But then most people do what? 23% of that 26 goes towards lifestyle.
Yes, I would agree.
And then you're left with 3% to save for your financial future.
Sounds about right.
And so that's so crazy. So, and then when we look at the way the industry, especially in the financial service industry, we don't really have a lot of financial advisors that are addressing the debt situation. Because I remember in the past, when a client comes into my office with a lot of debt, I'm like, you know what? Go deal with Dave Ramsey's system and pay off all your debt, and then come back.
Nice.
So I hated doing that. So I had to figure out a way to help my clients while they're in front of me, because I don't want them to leave disappointed.
Right.
So that's what
that's brilliant. That's brilliant. I don't know how you figured out that this was so important when you were so young. I mean, most of the times I know people my age and your age who are comfortable with what you're about to, what you do for your business as a smart play. But how did you figure it out so young? I mean, I'm totally confused. As a young person, we don't think about life insurance and hiding assets and putting assets away and leveraging that wealth against their daily lifestyle. How did you figure it out so young?
Yeah, just, as I continue to grow in the industry, and I wanted to be different from every other financial advisor, because it's a very competitive industry. So if I wanted to go after clients that I wanted to deal with, especially if I'm out there prospecting for business, I needed to say something that is unique, that is different, that makes the client say, okay, you know what? I need to give him a chance and let him help me, because everybody else I'm talking to, they're just trying to, where's your money? How much money do you have? Let me get it. Let me take it and invest it for you. That's all they talk about. But nobody's talking about, let me help you, empower you, become debt free.
Okay, so you figured this out. You've got this thing going. You start your own company at a young age, and you've been doing this since the year 2000, right? On your own?
Yes.
And building your own enterprise.
Yes.
All right, tell us about that, because not many founders stick with the same business this long.
True.
What has been your favorite part about this growth journey? You've got to love this thing if you're still doing the same thing.
Yes, I actually do. So in year 2000, I set up my company, Lago Financial Services. But with the business that we're in, we're also a part of what we call an independent marketing organization called American Classic Agents. So with that agency, they allow you to build a franchise inside a franchise. So basically, I was able to develop my company, and then I started building and mentoring other financial advisors and bringing them into the organization. And because it's a money business, you're always talking about money, and you're empowering families, changing their financial legacy, helping them scale their finance. It's so much joy, and especially when you see a client that gets an aha moment by the education that they have, and they constantly come to you and refer people to you. So it's a fun business, especially when I see my mentors, people that I know that they're in the industry, they've been in the industry for 40 years, 50 years. So there's
Right.
nothing else out there to go do that you can make the kind of money that this industry provides. Now, I've been able to scale and have other businesses in addition to this business, but this is, I call this my foundation, and I love it, and I still do it. Yeah.
Well, I love it. I love it. And the thing that I love about you is, I've probably, like a lot of people listening to this episode, everybody knows a financial planner, right? Like everybody knows a financial planner. But you have been able to take the type of strategy that you've learned as a young man and incorporate that into a program that you now have agents working for you or with you in all 50 states. Is that right?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Most people don't know a financial planner who has done that before. You've got 4 brick and mortar offices, and you've got people all over the country. How did you do that?
Yeah, because J. Paul Getty, he said, I rather make a 1% of 100 people's effort than 100% of my own. So I realized quickly in this industry, especially when I talk to folks that are in it, but we didn't want to do it like the way everybody else is doing it, because there's companies that do that and they just recruit. We want to bring people in that we will empower, will help them develop their business within our organization and empower them to understand the knowledge of finance. Because our thing is that you can't teach somebody something if you're not living it yourself. You got to live it yourself. So we started duplicating that, and then it's been great for us with what we do. And right now, the same organization called American Classic, about 3 years ago, me and 2 other partners decided to buy the company when the owner was retiring. So we bought the company from him, which kind of scaled us up even better. So now we're nationwide, all over.
Okay. So hold on. So I love what you just said, and I'm gonna unpack that for a second, because you just said a lot of cool stuff. So first of all, you took other financial planners and said, or other people in finance, and just said, hey, look at this strategy that I'm using. You should try it yourself. They try it themselves. They become an advocate for what you're doing, and they start giving part of their energy to helping other people do the same strategy. Then as you built that out, all of a sudden you took an existing entity, an existing structure, a network, you bought it out. And so you've grown through adaptation and acquisition.
That's right.
Is that right?
That's right. That's the best way to put that. Yes.
Dude, I love it. I love stories like this. This is amazing. All right, so this doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen person by person, one upon one, and line upon line. I mean, you can go whatever analogy you want to say. This is a fascinating growth story. Did you ever imagine 25 years ago that you would now be present in all these places?
No. I was just trying to survive 25 years ago. I mean, my story when I'm originally from West Africa, Nigeria, didn't have no college degree. Left Nigeria when I was 18 years old, came to America about age 23, was waiting table at IHOP at 24 when somebody gave me a business card to get into the financial service industry. And started doing it, but didn't know what I was doing. Was living in my car. I had a Honda Civic that I paid $500 for. That was my home because I didn't have a place to live. And I'll go to a Motel 6, beg the manager or whoever's on duty, but I got to be friends with the manager later and say, listen, can I just use your room and take a shower? I can't afford to pay for it, but can I take a shower in your room in the morning, brush my teeth, dress up, and go before your next customer comes or before your people come and clean the place? And they allowed me to do that. And then that gave me the opportunity to do what I needed to do and then just go to work. And then at night, I'll do paper routes. So while I'm doing paper routes in the morning from 12 to about 5 in the morning, I created a flyer that I put in the newspapers and pass out because I'm going to families and drop. So I created a flyer because I'm going to all these homes and I talk about mortgage protection, showing them how to pay off their mortgage in case of debt or disability, or sickness, and they get all their money back if they don't die. I mean, before the mortgage is over in 30 years. So I put that in the flyer, put my phone number, say, hey, call me if you're interested. But that was just leveraging everything I was doing because I saw the newspaper.
Oh my gosh.
I saw the newspaper and I saw these flyers in there. I'm like, let me put a flyer here. I'm the one delivering this stuff. So I put my own flyers in there too.
Oh my gosh, Douglas, I gotta tell you, that is absolutely hilarious. I did a paper out for 5 years when I was a kid, but you just outdid me by 100%. I love that you put your own flyer in the newspaper, and you were telling people how to get out of their mortgage when you didn't even have one. I mean, you didn't even have a home, you didn't have a place to live, and you're out there trying to teach people these practices. That is amazing. I mean, amazing. I love it.
Yes. You know, you gotta be creative if you don't have anything, you know, and especially if you know if your vision and your goals are huge, you gotta find a way to accomplish it. And I'm in an industry that's the largest industry in the world, you know, the financial service industry. And when they talk about a product that pays people's mortgage if they become disabled, I'm like, well, I have all these homes I'm visiting. I can't afford to buy leads, so let me become creative and meet. They don't know where I'm living at. It's not like I have a sign in my head that says you sleep in your house.
No. In fact, you could probably have invited people over to the Motel 6 lobby and given them the lecture.
Right. Yep.
I love it. No, you know, listen, it's so funny to laugh about now. Yeah. But there's a lot of people listening who are in that same position where they are feeling like they're nothing. They're feeling like they've got nothing going for them. Now, granted, you came from Nigeria and as an immigrant and as an adult with very little education, very little experience, waiting tables. I mean, this is just a perfect American success story. And I absolutely appreciate you sharing this. Now, aside from those initial challenges, as you started to establish your business and grow your business, what have been some of the biggest challenges that you've had to face in the growth and scaling aspect of, you know, you may be in it for 10 years, 15 years, but you hit roadblocks.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about one of those big challenges and how you overcame that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, being in the sales industry, selling life insurance and investment products back in the day, you know, one of my biggest challenges was people looking at me and saying, you know, what do you know about the business? Especially when you have other people that have the fancy office that are doing well, you know, they're working for name brand companies, you know, like a Prudential, like a New York Life, right? These companies that are well known. And then here I come, I'm an independent guy working with different organizations. So what will set you apart from these people? So I had to figure out a way to do it differently. And at the same time, you know, going into this industry and driving to appointments and getting stood up, you know, I mean, drive 2-3 hours to go. I remember driving to a place called West Virginia. And, you know, I drove 3-4 hours to that area, it's a whole new state. Got there and had an appointment. And just because I showed up, you know, I mean, and they didn't open the door for me. So I had to make a decision. Either I'm going to drive 3 hours back or I'm going to knock on every door in the neighborhood. I decided to knock on every door in the neighborhood. And, you know, I walked away with a lot of sales that day because other people were interested in talking to me. So you can't let one thing stop you. The question you got to ask yourself all the time is either you're going to take the negative or figure out a way to make the positive work, because there's always going to be either negative or positive. There's no middle, there's no gray line, there's no middle area.
Wow. I love it. Now how did you, okay, so I mean there's so much we could go on to in this interview that I've got to pick my battle here. I got to pick the pleasure here. How did you, you know, building your own like set of client base and then translating that into your people building their client portfolios. How did you go about like replicating the same desire, the same passion, the same energy that you have in building your own portfolios into helping other people in your organization build their portfolios?
Yeah, the thing is this, right? There's so many people that are struggling. They work hard.
Yeah.
They do everything everyone is told them to do, but they end up broke. They end up, retiring, working at Walmart at age 65, greeting people at the door. And me by myself, I cannot reach everybody, and because also I know there's other people that are looking for opportunities just like I had, right? That somebody give me an opportunity to get into this industry. So it just makes sense to introduce someone else to the industry that might be like, you know what, I need something to do. I need a help. I need somebody to guide me. I need somebody to mentor me. So that's what I do. And so I provide a training. Actually, last night I do a training every Wednesday night. I've been doing that training for the last 17 years. Every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern time, for all my advisors all across the country, and they log in. Last night was my birthday. I still did it on my birthday. So thanks, man. So the idea is always, when you give, one thing I was saying to the people, last night, I said, you know what, the whole idea for me doing what I do and helping you all scale your business, and if I'm anywhere in the world and I'm struggling somewhere and I need $100,000, I could pick up the phone and call someone and say, hey, send me this. And you send it because you have it. There's no point just one person making all the money and everybody else around you just worshiping you. We don't like that.
Love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. A man for the people. Listen, this has been an amazing interview, and I love the story. I love your experience, and I love your enthusiasm. How do you, when you have your back up against the wall, and you have looked for someone for inspiration, who is that person? And can you give them a shout out here on the show today?
Yes, so man, I have so many people that I listen to that inspire me. That if I'm having rough time, I call them. Because I've been saying, pass negative up, pass positive down. Because you don't want to kill the people that you're mentoring. So you have to go to the people that are
pass negative up and pass positive down. Right. Okay, all right.
So I have one gentleman.
I like that.
I have a gentleman, actually two gentlemen that I'll mention. One is Anthony Stewart. He's my business partner in the finance business, and Bob Siegel. So those two folks that inspire me. They've been in the industry a long time. They understand the business. They know what's going on, and so those are people that I reach out to for anything. If I'm having doubts or anything, and like every morning at 6 a.m. I walk, and my buddy Anthony, he's in another city. He's walking in the morning, so we call each other in the morning while we're walking, just talking.
Awesome. Awesome. Hey, that is amazing. I love it. I love this whole interview. This has been an inspiring interview to start my day.
Thank you.
And for those of you listening, growth and scaling doesn't always come easy, and it very rarely comes easy. In fact, it comes through the hard work, the effort, the energy, the people in your network that you can look to and rely on. These 6 a.m. walks and talks with your friends. And when you surround yourself with people who are successful, and you surround yourself with people who have had successes, you are going to naturally want to follow that pattern. And I am so grateful for the inspiration that you have relegated out to the audience today, Douglas.
Thank you.
How do people follow you? Are you present on social media anywhere? How do people get on some of these calls and listen to you inspire your people?
Yeah, definitely. I'm on social media. I'm on IG, Instagram. I am Douglas Eze. So be very careful. There's multiple.
We'll put the link in the chat. We'll put the link in the show notes.
So I am Douglas Eze, but you could also just put my name on the Google search, Douglas Eze, and you get to see everything that I'm doing. My book that I've written called Creating Generational Wealth, what the super wealthy know that you
Love
need
it.
to know. So it's on there. So, and you could find me, you could send me. I'm very reachable. I'm on LinkedIn. So you could reach me on LinkedIn, of course, and just follow me on there, or send me a DM. I always respond to everyone. And I actually have a documentary
Love
that
it.
aired a few months ago. We have over 2.8 million views. It's called the African
Wow.
Millionaires in America. African Millionaires in America. It's on YouTube.
I'll put it in the show notes. I'll put a link in the show notes. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Douglas, what a pleasure to have had you on today. Thank you so much for all that you brought to the audience today, and thank you for all you do in building and growing your network of people. We'll see you guys on the next episode. Thank you, Douglas.
Thank you.
What did you think of that story? Absolutely amazing, inspirational, and I hope it gives you what you need to go out and grow and scale your company. We all hit roadblocks. We all hit challenges in our business, but imagine applying this positivity and this energy that Douglas brings to his business in your business. You can do it. Listen to this episode again and again to kind of get you motivated to do it. I know that for me and my business, I plan on it and just kind of applying that resiliency and applying that passion for his business that he has in my business. So, as you try to go through your journey in growth and scaling, I hope that this interview has been effective in providing you the energy and the love and the passion that you need to go out and grow and scale yours. For me, it's been an amazing blessing, huge impact. Go out and share this episode with anyone who needs that inspo today, and I hope you come back for the next episode of the Growth and Scaling Podcast.